Hello, welcome back. Tonight I will speak about a grimoire that I have written and about a very special character called Barbatos. And Barbatos is one of the spirits of the Ars Goetia, and the book of King Solomon, Ars Goetia, inspired me to write my grimoires. And this is the recording part of a playlist that I have created for Barbatos. And tonight we will continue to speak about him, and we will do a little bit of an exercise. I will speak about the different visions that I have seen Barbatos, or to say, different imagery, that appears when I speak about him or appeared when I was writing his grimoire. So to say, for all of my grimoires, I receive this type of imagery. It's almost like lucid dreaming, vivid dreaming that happens when I'm awake, and then I'm able to see them in a vision, in an image. It is almost like watching a movie, and it's quite interesting because it feels very real. It feels very, it's almost like in reality, like you can see how the weather is outside, or there's a certain feeling, it seems very real, but as I said, it is a vision. So the visions that I have with Barbatos were just a few, but it's not about seeing a lot in the meaning of a long time. Sometimes the image is just for a few seconds, and sometimes one can go back into that vision, into that memory, that imagery, and receive further feeling or information from that vision as well. One can go back into that memory or into that vision as well. And sometimes it happens naturally. It happens without me necessarily expecting it, as most of the visual images that I get, but some I choose to go back, and to meditate on the thematic, and I'm able to see more as well. Sometimes it's a conscious decision. Sometimes it feels a little bit almost like it is given to me by somebody or someone else, or by the spirit, when we are talking about him. So there is a connection to each spirit for each grimoire that I have written until now, and all of them have shown me not only one image or not only one vision, but a few, And my first grimoire that I've written was the Grimoire of King Payman, which is a grimoire that I've written. Is titled King Payman, Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss. And King Payman has shown me many, many different visions that somehow, created this ability for me as well. And then when I wrote the grimoires for others as well, I was able to see and feel and see them as well through those visions. And that, of course, inspired the book and gave me that material, that feeling, that inspiration as well, or that information that I needed for the grimoire, for the book. So this is pretty much how it happens. As I've said, most of them are given. It is not something that I constructed in my mind. It's something that happens naturally. So going back to Barbatos, I would say, in his case, when I was writing his grimoire, I didn't meditate so much on him as on the others, and it seemed almost like I don't remember as much, or I didn't have as many visions with him. But when I record and when I speak about him, he does show me things. I am able to see him in some way or another, And it is not something I actively look for, because my personality is not something I'm not running or rushing for nothing. It is not something that I'm necessarily looking for in that meaning. I like it that it happens naturally. It's not something I'm working on actively. But of course, it does connect me. I'm happy when it happens, and it does give me a very good feeling about it. So when I was thinking of Barbatos, to say, one vision was that I was standing in the forest, and quite interesting how it happens. Sometimes they show you things that you already know. So it's a specific forest that I have been, and it's most of my memories too are connected to my childhood as well, or the place that I have grown. Well, I was spending time when I was a child, and I don't know why is that so important. But it was a forest that I have been, or a forest that I know, a place that I know. And I was just standing there in the forest, and then I saw Barbatos, not very far away from me, but almost like hiding behind a tree, which I found very funny. And then he was looking at me and then hiding, but not hiding in a specific way. He was not scared or anything like that. It was just like a little hide and seek type of feeling, or the way I was seeing him, And I was just standing and I was just observing him. And then he observed me too. He was looking at me almost like he put his head behind the tree, and he was looking at me as well. So I just said, well, it's just that, sometimes a vision is just like 1 second, one simple thing, or they can be very complex and very different as well. But I tend to think that it's not about the complexity of the vision. It is about the feeling, or it's about the message that the spirit wants to give you, or wants to give me. So the element of Barbatos to say, well, I do know a few things about him, of course, and it is, so to say, the element of the wood, or the element of the forest, is a part of him, is part of his domain, So it's almost like I was in his domain, I was in his, I must say, forest, because forests are very much connected to Barbatos. It is his domain, so it's almost like I was in his home. I was almost say trespassing, So that's why he was looking this way at me. It's like what I was doing there, And in the second vision he showed me, I was like on an open field, and I didn't see him, but it's almost sometimes the spirit stands by me, or I'm able to see through my eyes something that he's showing me. And it was a very large open type of landscape, almost like with white snow and frozen landscape, very cold landscape, and like trees and a river, or some type of, it was just this huge natural landscape that he was showing me. And it is connected to that ability, to remote view, or remote viewing, that one can travel and see or be in places, we say not in a physical form, because I was not there in physical form, but in a way, yes, because it is my body there, or it is my own consciousness in that place, but it's different. It's not in real life, where you really feel the tiredness, or you feel the cold, or you feel it's like you feel yourself there, and you see that environment. It's almost like you're not really there, but in a way, yes. It's like a little confusing, but it does not matter. And so, King Payman, for example, has shown me different visions where it was very, very complex type of visions, and it was just a very different energy. It was very direct, very powerful, and he showed me, he brought me direct to his throne, or he brought me direct to the place where he is, or he brought me direct to things that he shared with me that I don't think he shared with no one, So the connection I have with King Payman is very special because of that, and it was my first grimoire, my masterpiece, my most important book is the Book of King Payman. So with other spirits, it's always a little bit different, but the things they show me has a connection to the books that I'm writing and the work that I'm doing. So it's specifically for me as well. And it's a ongoing learning process as well for me as well, how these things work, or how lucid dreaming, or things like that actually I'm sure that it happened when I was a child as well, but I didn't know what it is, and say, well, it sounds strange, but it's not. It's almost like you're in your bed and you're not sleeping, but you just have a vision, you just see something. It's the same. It's called lucid dreaming. And when it's connected to a specific spirit or a specific thematic, it builds a connection to that place or to that spirit as well. And this is very, very interesting, because this is actually what my work or my books are built on. It is built on that, those first experiences or those first images or those first connections, and it is a very deep connection. It is not just a simple image that appears. One feels something in that moment as well. So even yesterday I was speaking in the first recording about Barbatos, that his work is very much connected to the emotion and to the feelings, but in a very beautiful way, It's almost to say, well, the forest and the trees or the nature has that connection to us as well. It is a connection that moves inside of us as well, no? It's the same like the air we breathe, it goes inside us, inside our lungs, inside our cells, inside our blood, no? It is that element from the outside coming inside as well, and that from inside, the breath coming outside. So it's almost like the wind is very much connected to him as well. So the element of the air, the ether, that element of that part of life, because our air is part of life, So I say, Barbatos, I want to say, through those visions that he showed me, I'm able to read a little bit more further on his thematic, or the way he is. It gives me clues to his personality or how he is, no? So from the first vision, we said that in the forest, it showed me that he works on very fine elements. He is almost like a very fine spirit, very fine being. Works on very, almost like, it shows me now like little grass, the little elements of the grass, and very tiny elements that repeats themselves, or the fungi, the mushrooms in the forest as well, no? It's something that repeats itself in different shapes and different forms, and it is about that tiny element as well that is able to repeat itself and somehow get larger, or get somehow, as the grass does, no? It covers then huge lands. It's able to cover, something tiny, something fragile even. It's able to have the dominion over a larger tree or larger earth or a larger part of the forest. Then it's the element of the trees or the leaves, the element of the sun or the sunlight, no? To say, well, in the wood and the forest, the light does not go through totally, no? There's a little play of light and shadow. Those two elements of light and shadow, I know that are very much connected to Barbatos. The element of the light and the element of the shadow. It is like an interplay. It is something, as I've said, very fine. It is very fine decorated, or fine elevated, or fine created. It's the element of this finesse. There's something beautiful about it, something endearing, no? Then, of course, in the forest, we have the element of the silence, which is very much connected to Barbatos. But it is a silence that is full with life, to say, well, we use words to say, well, silence. So silence means silence. But there are millions different types of silences, no? So the silence of Barbatos is a silence full with life. It's almost like the forest when you're there and you don't move, but you're able to, it's totally silence, you're not able to hear nothing, but if you train your ear and your senses, you will be able to intercept the most tiny movement, even of a little bug or a little insect moving, or just the wind, or the little trees or the little leaves moved through that element of the air. And that is the element of Barbatos. That's how he works, that's how he shows himself, that's how he enjoys his spirit to exist, no? Then from that vision, what else I can say is that the element of the dried leaves is very important. It's almost like a cover, on the earth. It creates something. It creates that element of life, being to say, well, the leaves fall from the trees and then they dry out, no, and then they are somehow eaten by the insects, or they are then transformed back into the earth, that then creates, no, that element of that rich soil, that then the trees, no, are able to again sustain themselves through a new life. That element of, from something being dried and left out, no, something green can reappear. Is that element again, that element of life, that element of I guess something beautiful, no? Even the colors of these leaves are very beautiful. It's like red, yellow, brown, no? These elements are very beautiful as well. So it's not only the element of the green that we have in the forest. Of course, when we think of the forest, we think of the element green, the color green mostly, but actually there are all the colors, no? We find all the colors in the forest as well. Or we can find the different plants, the different flowers, no? Sometimes we can find intense blue flowers, or red, or violet. So you say, well, there's an entire world there as well. And the second vision that I had with Barbatos was like this open landscape, this open space. It's almost feeling like I was on high hill. It was like a strong wind was passing, and that element of that power of the nature, that wildness, the wilderness, the element of, it felt something strong, something beautiful, something, like a strong cold wind, or the strong cold air, or the strong water from the river flowing down wards, no? It's that element of that flow, that power of nature. It was very different to the element of the forest, which was inside. This was an open space, open landscape, and it just it created a moment of awe, a moment of beauty, of respiro, of something. It was just very, I don't know, it's more like you want to breathe in that air, and you just fill your lungs with that air. It's an element of something plenitude, something beautiful, something wild, something discovering, like an explorer, so something about that element of life as well. No? It seemed so much like an open space, a little bit very serene, actually both of but in that vision I didn't see him as in the first one. In the first one was that interaction, which made it different as well, because I was seeing him and he was looking at me. And it's interesting because the vision, most of the time I am not acting on chasing or speaking or running or moving. It's just me observing. I don't know why it is that way. It's just for a split second. It's just for a moment, that I'm able to observe. So I think when we think about Barbatos, so well, of course, the Grimoire of Barbatos is published. It's a book that I have written, and it is a very beautiful thematic as well. The thematic of light and shadow, the thematic of the 8 gates that Barbatos represents, and the number 8 is in the Book of King Solomon, Ars Goetia, he's the 8th spirit. 8 is his number. Barbatos is formed from 8 letters. And of course, the letter or the number 8, which letter is 8? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, the H. Yes, the H. So the element of the 8 is that element of rebirth, is that element of infinity, that element of eternity as well. Is the element of 8. In the same time, the element of 8 is magical. It's not something that's closed, it can open. It's the element of the gate. It is the element of the gate, number 8. And that's what Barbatos represents. So well, we can think each letter from his name represents one of the gates, and each gate is different, and it speaks about enlightenment, the different 8 gates, or something makes me think of my second vision on that open high altitude landscape. It speaks about that altitude or something enlightening, something enlightenment, something about evolution or elevation, something that it's like open-minded, or something being hidden or reversed or shown. That's the element of those differences in that one can find as well. And he speaks thoroughly in my grimoire about the different gates, and he is very direct. As the Grimoire of Barbatos is very to the point, very direct, very interesting as well. And he really reveals a lot in his grimoire. He really does reveal a lot in his grimoire. It's almost like one is surprised how direct he is and how much he reveals. In the same time, his words do leave room for interpretation. No, it's not to say Barbatos is no fool. It's not to say, well, he's going to tell us everything we need, and that's going to be the lesson. No, to say, well, his words or his teachings or his wisdom does create the necessary need for us as well to work on different elements. No, say, well, if the door is there, or the doors are there, the gates are there, the keys sometimes may be given, or may be the need to be found as well, or to say when one has to find out which key to which door. No, as a metaphor to say there is some type of work needed on our side as well. No, to say if enlightenment is our choice, or if wisdom or knowledge or whatever source of inspiration we are searching in our lives, that can be found and that can be worked on. So it's a very positive message. The book, The Grimoire of Barbatos, is very beautiful, is very positive in that way, and it deepens one's senses as well, or deepens one's understanding as well when it comes to Barbatos, but in a very fine way, in a very clear way as well. No? And the representation of Barbatos is the dark magician, or the magician of the north, this element of the north, very much connected to Barbatos. And I will continue to speak about him because I am searching to understand much more about Barbatos, and through visions or other dreams or lucid dreamings or any other ideas that I get about him. You know, that's why I created this playlist for others as well, to be on this journey with me. It's almost like the vision that Barbatos has shown me. It's almost like an invitation to a travel or a journey that I'm going to take with him, in a spiritual meaning, of course, to be able to discover something. I think he wants me to discover something, or show us or me something as well. No, it's not about me. You say, well, me is a pronoun. No, it's not necessarily, it's just to say for others as well. No, it's, as I've said, it's not about me. So the thematic of Barbatos, of course, speaks something about you say, well, a travel as a journey, as I've said, something to be discovered, or the meaning of something that we don't know yet, or that can surprise us, or something that can be reached, a place that may seem far away. Maybe it is even a place that is not from this world, say, well, we don't know exactly where Barbatos resides, or we don't know exactly so much about him, So say, well, everything will be revealed at the same time, in the same moment, or at the right moment, does not matter. But I do feel that vision was from him as an invitation. So, well, if it is we compare it like a movie, it is the first scene, we see this open space, this landscape opening in front of us, and there are maybe some questions, or maybe some need for some answers, some type of curiosity that comes from our side to him as well. And the second vision in the forest, him having that look on his face, that curiosity, that interest in me as well, in that element of him seeing me there, it shows that there is that interest on his side as well. So that's how I somehow translate my visions into that meaning that I'm able to suggest, or I'm able to interpret as well. And I feel it's a very positive thing as well. I think Barbatos, I feel him very joyful. I feel him very soft. He has a very soft, delicate energy, very loving energy. At the same time, I know that Barbatos is very, very intelligent. And if one reads the Grimoire of Barbatos, understands his power, to say sometimes when we describe even humans, or we describe the spirit, well, he's sweet and this, somehow it takes away from its power. But it is very wrong for us to think that, because it is not like that. It is the opposite, no? And it is just very beautiful qualities that Barbatos carries, that I do want to give him that honor. It's almost like a feeling from heart to heart, It's like he's able to feel my heart and I'm able to feel his as well. There's a purity that comes to that. There is a certain sweetness, very childlike, very fun-like, It's even the element of journey and discovery. It feels very young, it feels very exciting, feels very beautiful. And at the same time, I enjoy to look at the fine details, and the little makes me think of Asmodeus, which I wrote a grimoire as well, where he is teaching through almost minuscule little differences that one finds outside, and it's like that those elements is like to have the eye for very tiny little insects, or the eye for very little tiny plants, or something very insignificant at the same time, that carries a lot of knowledge, that carries a lot of meaning as well, to be able to train that part of our spirit, to be able to find beauty in those elements that no one else sees or even notices, It is something about that as well. So if one, when I speak about my grimoires, to say each thematic that comes through each one of them can be found in all of them. For say, I take the element of silence, I'm going to find them in all of them. Or the element of the black, appears in all of them. Some of them even more strongly, but they're always very different as well. So it's almost like training the eye, or training the spirit, or training the heart, or training those elements, that create that beauty as well, or that trust as well, or that excitement as well, between those elements that one can encounter, and one can feel from one to another, or one to an element. It does not necessarily have to be a human being or a spirit. It can be even a simple part, or a nature, from nature, a tree, or, one can connect to that element, and one can feel something beautiful in the moment as well. I think this Barbatos teaches very much. And in the Ars Goetia, he is represented as a spirit, as a master healer as well, because he works with nature as well as Buer is master of healing. Master of nature is a master of healing. Of course, the element of magician too is a master of healing. Then we have the element of the dark, which of course all the spirits carry the element of the dark, which one has to meditate and understand what those elements actually mean. And then we have the element of the colors as well, that are represented very much in each spirit, or the different domain and the different abilities they carry, the different intelligence, the different soul they carry as well, And I think in the case of Barbatos, he's very unique through that element of silence that he carries. As I said, well, he does not, he's a very solitary spirit, and he does not necessarily need to connect, but that's why that invitation that he offers is so special to me, because I know all the other elements that create him or make him be the way he is. So that's, let's say, a big step, or a big understanding on my side as well. And, to say, well, it is always an invitation, for me as well, to say, well, do I want to do this? Do I want to connect with this way? Do I want to take the journey, take the travel? Do I want to write the book? And from my side, the answer is always yes when it comes to them. And of course, a very gladly yes, a very happily yes, a very joyful yes, a very curious yes as well from my side. And we will continue to speak about Barbatos, of course, and say, well, it will be interesting as well to see what appears in the next recording that I will do. And I will leave this one here. Thank you so much for listening. I will continue another time. Until then, all the best to you. Bye.